Marko here from Fair Realty, Victoria, BC. Recently, I re-rented two of my condos, one of them being a one-bedroom in Vic West, and the other one being a studio downtown Victoria. And in the process of re-renting them, I did quite a bit of research so I could come up with market rents, so I could set some reasonable asking prices in terms of the rents in my ads. And the one thing I came across is the purpose-built rental product right now in Victoria is asking substantially more per month than ma and pa type investors such as myself. So let me give you some examples. There's a new development, purpose-built rental at the corner of Shelburne and Mackenzie. They're asking $1,800 a month for 352 square foot studios. Bosa at Dockside in their rental tower, they're asking $1,995, so $5 short of $2,000 for 400 square foot studios. Versus when I was doing my research on Facebook Marketplace, I came across a brand new never lived in studio in decor for $1,500. Right now in Facebook Marketplace, there's a one bedroom unit being advertised for $1,700 at the Mod building on Cook Street, relatively new condo building. If you go to property management websites that manage rental properties for ma and pa type investors that may have one or two units, for example, go to the Clover residential rental website, you'll find a 408 square foot junior one bedroom downtown in a quality building being advertised for $1,595, and they dropped the price down from $1,695 down to $1,595. Once again, this is 408 square feet, while that development I was talking about earlier at the corner of Shelburne and Mackenzie's asking $1,800 for 352 square feet. So substantially more for a substantially smaller unit. Sure, a lot of these purpose-built rentals are offering 1 month free if you sign a 1 year lease, like the 13th month is free, and they're offering other incentives, but they're often asking 10, 15, 20% more than comparable condo units owned by individual investors. And sure, there is more stability for a tenant renting into a purpose-built rental because they know they're not going to get evicted. These purpose-built rentals are probably going to be around for the next 50 years versus a ma and pa investor can always opt to sell their unit. If an owner-occupier buys that unit, you as the tenant have to go. But will tenants be willing to pay 10, 15, 20% more for purpose-built rental product, which is also often inferior in terms of finishing? I find condos typically have nicer finishing than units in purpose-built rentals. Are tenants going to be willing to pay these premiums with thousands and thousands of units being finished and coming to market in these purpose-built rentals? And I don't know, exactly these purpose-built rentals, what they were anticipating in being able to rent these units when the projects were finished. Construction costs are very expensive. I'm assuming they have high expectations. Are they going to be able to meet those expectations? How long is the absorption rate in some of these buildings that have 100, 200, 400 units? How long is it going to take to fill them up when you're asking 10, 15, 20% more than comparable product? You have to keep in mind there's always ma and pa investors also that have tenants moving out, bringing units to market, and demand is down. I don't think demand is down as much as it is in Vancouver and Toronto, where lower immigration numbers have really impacted things. But certainly in Victoria, demand's down, thousands and thousands of purpose-built rentals being built and being advertised at much higher prices. It's going to be really interesting to see if these purpose-built rentals at any point start lowering their prices, or they keep trying to stimulate tenants with incentives such as 1 or 2 months free. I think I recently somewhere saw 3 months free. That's it for this week. Marko, Juras, Fair Realty.